With Carlos Correa saying he's opting out of his deal with the Minnesota Twins, that leaves him now open to one of the best free agent shortstop markets that's coming into play. So in this video, we're going to look at 3 different potential landing spots for Carlos Correa. So let's get into it. What's going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast. And as I said in the open, Carlos Correa is going to be one of the most highly sought after free agents in this upcoming market, no matter of position. But when you look at the shortstop market, he is the headliner of this class. And there are some very good names that are likely going to be on that list. Trey Turner, Xander Bogaerts, Dansby Swanson. But Carlos Correa is likely going to be the best of all of them when it all is said and done. So we're going to begin with the number 3 candidate for where he could land. And as we look at that third option, it is the Chicago Cubs. When you look at what the Cubs could be with a guy like Carlos Correa, this is a dynamic player that is a game-changing option. When you look at last offseason, the Cubs' name were mentioned with this player. And I think that this offseason is likely going to be more of the same. I don't think that the Chicago Cubs want to be left in the dust the way that they were this past offseason. They have a superstar in the making in Nico Hoerner, who they can shift over to second base, plugging Correa in at his shortstop position. Being able to have a player like Carlos Correa on the Chicago Cubs could truly help them get back into the race atop of the National League Central Division. Being able to add a player like that to the lineup of the Chicago Cubs really lengthens out that lineup. And while Correa would be the focus in terms of opposing managers and pitching coaches' game scouting reports, there's no doubt about it that his presence in that lineup would help everyone increase their ability and their potential going into the 2023 season. As we look at the number 2 option on my list, it is that of the Philadelphia Phillies. I think that when you look at Philadelphia, this is a player that they would absolutely love to have. The confidence for which Carlos Correa plays would absolutely fit in well in the city of brotherly love. I think that what you do with Bryson Stott would be move him over to second base and allow him to become Chase Utley 2.0. You also now put in a shortstop that absolutely has the ability to carry this team on his back. You add him in with the superstars that they already have on this roster, and you make this team even bigger of a threat. We've seen how well that they have played and how well they have been in here in the 2022 season, and adding a guy like Carlos Correa, in my opinion, would only make the Philadelphia Phillies that much stronger and much more of a favorite pick for the 2023 postseason and World Series as a contender. And as we look at the number 1 spot, it is the same team that he is opting out of, the Minnesota Twins. I think that for Minnesota, being able to bring back a guy like Carlos Correa is a very solid fit. He had a very good season for a Minnesota Twins team that did not have a lot go right. I think that when you have this type of player in your clubhouse, you allow him to really be the leader that he is. Being able to have a younger team with some veteran stars like a Carlos Correa in that roster, in that clubhouse, is only going to serve the Minnesota Twins at getting back to being the headliners of the National League Central Division. I think that it's going to be a much tougher race in 2023, and if the Minnesota Twins lose out on bringing back Carlos Correa, it's going to make them a much less of a favorite when it comes to the postseason in 2023 for the American League Central Division. Bringing back a guy like Carlos Correa should be of the utmost importance for Thad Levine and the Minnesota Twins. That being said, I've already made a video here, and I will leave links to it down in the show notes below, about my desire for the New York Yankees to go after Carlos Correa. There's already a ton that I have said about the issue and about the topic of that, so I will just leave links to that video down in the show notes below. But just know that if the New York Yankees were to pick up Carlos Correa, it is going to be a very special day in my household. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings on this down in the comment section below. Where is the most likely landing spot for Carlos Correa? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, or find me over on Twitter at banter_baseball to keep the conversation rolling. Now, as we said here before on the channel, if you've been paying attention the last few days, we have a new partnership with Lids. So make sure you click on the link below. It'll take you to the page where you can use the promo code LIDS25 to save 25% off your order. Keep it locked in all season to the Baseball Banter Broadcast and our sister channels, WeSibs and the Granny Geek Show. And you can do so by hitting the subscribe button on all 3 channels. For sticking around to this point, head over to baseballbanterbroadcast.com. Use the promo code BANTER to save 5% off your order. Keep it locked in all season long as we continue to look at the latest news, notes, and my personal thoughts, theories, and opinions on the game of Major League Baseball. Peace.